Hello, YouTube. This is episode number 3, and I think we officially got a name now. It's gonna be like R&B. You get it, Rob and Brian? No, I think it's pretty cool though. We'll stick with that.
For
So,
now.
yeah, it seems like we're gonna be doing a rotation between topical music stuff and like new release stuff, since we listen to enough new releases to kind of put out an episode every couple weeks. So this week's is gonna be new release. And I don't think we're gonna talk about anything beforehand. We'll just jump right into it because we got a lot to say. So I'm gonna start. And the best new release of the week is gonna be these pumpkin spice ramen noodles. These are Rob. Come on, Rob.
No.
These are bomb. These are one of the most flavorful ramen noodles I've ever had. But I'm just kidding. That's not one of our real ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to barf after.
Wow, we disagreed on something. I don't know. This might be a rough episode. So my real pick is gonna be Lana for you Archer fans. A lot of people didn't like the first one, Chemtrails Over the Country Club, because it was like, really slow, really brooding, really moody. And it didn't try to be anything else. I thought it was really good. And everyone thought the new one, Blue Banisters, was going to be her new Norman fucking Rockwell. And I was like, come on, because I liked the other one. I didn't expect to like this one as much. But after listening to it, I like it better too. And for me, I first started noticing, like, when Lana first came out with the video games with Blue Jeans, I instantly liked her. But I was thinking, like, if Quentin Tarantino was going to make an artist, it would be Lana Del Rey. She had this, like, old school aesthetic and kind of like this, brooding, sultry, like, old school, like, vocal. And for me, I think Lana Del Rey is kind of genius because I think she's been playing the long game. She's had the same similar aesthetic, similar style, and slowly she's been adding more layers to it. And this year, she's been doing stuff with her vocals where I'm like, damn, it's like kind of bringing almost an alternative edge to it. And for me, like a lot of female singer-songwriters, it's kind of slim pickings, and Lana has kind of been my pick for that type of vibe. And it's first on Chemtrails Over the Country Club, where she did the white dresses, has a really like it definitely has a Tori vibe. Like two of these songs have like a real Tori vibe, and then she does Dance Till We Die, and she kind of goes like a little like sloppy alternative and crazy on that one, and that really got me curious about what she can actually do. And on this album, she's really bringing it out. Like the vocals are the best she's ever had. Blue Banisters, and Arcadia is something like she's not just doing the broody thing anymore. She's just like, it's so rich. She's really singing on this one. And then she does some like really like sassy stuff when she does the duet on Dealers, and she just goes for it, and I can't help but like really fall for that and wondering what she's gonna be able to do next. Lana fans are already sold, so I can't tell you anything more, but I'm on board and I really love it.
Very nice. So I'd have to say my first pick that I've been listening to is Ed Sheeran's Equal album. So I gotta say it is definitely an Ed Sheeran album. It sounds like most of his typical albums. I do always like Ed Sheeran's vocals and his lyrics, and again, they're very good. They're honest lyrics. I would have to say that Bad Habits is by far the most different song on the album, and I do wish they would have gone in a little bit more of a different direction on some of the other songs. Some of them are definitely caught right in that middle pop kind of acoustic sing-songy vibe songs. So I'd have to say my favorite songs on the album, I really like Tides and Bad Habits, Be Right Now, and definitely Visiting Hours. Visiting Hours is about visiting someone in heaven. I think that's a really gorgeous song. Definitely have to say my least favorites would be Two Step, which is this typical rap song. I'm glad there's only one on this album. Stop the Rain. Sandman, I don't know about that. It's like Fisher Price song. And Leave Your Life. But overall, I'm still listening to it. I'm still getting into it. It hasn't really caught me yet. And that also might be partially due to an album that I've really been into that I will talk about in a bit. That's my take right now on Ed Sheeran's Equals. I like it. It's a typical Ed Sheeran album. Not in love with it.
From what I've heard of it, I listened to it 3 times. Rob's spot on. I can't really add much to it. My next pick is an artist that I have liked since I've really started to get into music. Like after the Smashing Pumpkins, it was Tori Amos for me. She'll always be my number 2, no matter what she does. She could put out an absolute stinker, and she would still be Tori to me. And so for Tori fans, and for me, I feel like we can all agree that there's like kind of divide between everything she did up to like Scarlet's Walk and everything she did afterwards. And everything she's done since is kind of like had this like more mature, motherly, sage, kind of like earthy vibe. It's kind of bluesy. And so, I mean, I've liked her albums since then. But this is probably the album that's probably grabbed me most since like Scarlet's Walk. Native Invader was kind of dark. It was kind of interesting. But I feel like this one, although it was kind of misleading when they tried to say what it was about, I thought it was going to be like really in my feels because it's supposed to be about the whole pandemic thing and the isolation of it all. And lyrically, it's there. But I feel like there's a lot more like kind of like almost like a bright energy to it, like almost like coming out of it more, and that's cool. And I feel like a lot of these songs could actually kind of be like the closest she's come to singles in a long time. Swim to New York State, which is kind of the closest to her, like a ballad, like kind of reminds me of one of I Can't See New York from Scarlet's Walk, actually. Devil's Bane, which has this really cool, catchy chorus where it sounds like she's saying shine to me, and she's like shame. And and Metal Water Wood is kind of have like this world vibe to it, and it's kind of interesting. And it's got enough songs that stand out where I can say I like it, but it's not quite what I used to like about Tori. And I think that's what happens when your artists kind of get older and put out a lot of material. It's not going to hit quite the same, but they can still put something out that you can listen to. And that's...
I do have to say, I like the cover of that album. I think it's a pretty cool cover. All right, so my next one. Okay, I definitely did not expect to get into this. I'm kind of shocked by this.
Don't apologize. It's good.
Olivia Rodrigo's Sour. So obviously, I've heard all the singles on the radio. You got Driver's License, Good For You, Deja Vu, Traitor. And I really like all those songs. I think all of them are really good. Still, I'd have to say my favorite is Driver's License. I also really like Hope You're Okay. My least favorites are Jealousy, and Happier. But what I really like about the album is it doesn't sound like your typical pop album. It's not overproduced. Her vocals are mostly raw. And I'd have to say when they were making the album, it seemed like they were going more for kind of like an alternative vibe, which kind of makes sense because the producer is from an indie band called As Tall As Lions. But definitely really impressed with this album overall. Interested to see what she does in the future. So I think things, again, what I really like about Driver's License, I like how the car seatbelt beeping melds into the song. Hope You're Okay, again, is a nice way to end the album. I really like the lyrics. Address the letters to the holes in my butterfly wings. Nothing's forever. Nothing as good as it seems. And then just Brutal. I like how Brutal just sounds like kind of a messy, all over the place song. I really like that. But definitely impressed with this album overall, and it's been kind of into it.
A lot of variety for a debut album. I mean, it kind of goes all over the place.
It does, it does, and I'm kind of, definitely didn't think I'd like this as much as I do.
All right, I guess for my main event, technically this album came out in 2020. I had to buy the vinyl first. And so sometimes I buy vinyl when I can't get an artist in any other way. And the CD came out. So Bartees Strange is my main event because out of 3 artists I discovered, Sleep Token, Holding Absence in the last couple of years, I'd say Bartees Strange is the one that from the second the album starts to the second it ends, I feel it all the way through, and it's not just in a sappy way. This guy came from a post-hardcore band. His mom was an opera singer, so he has the pipes. The album delivers so many different layers and so many different genres, and when they're all put together, it's so soulful and it makes you feel. It's like you got the rock vibe, you got the guitars, you got his soulful vocals. Sometimes he does like the Radiohead, like haunting vocal, and it's got slow jams. It's got lyrics that are kind of like hip hop, like they're almost like choppy and have slang, but you definitely get where he's coming from. He's telling a story. The lyrics are a lot about his dark periods in his life, which is also why it's kind of like a pandemic album to me. He went through his period. He was taking drugs. He was isolated from other people. He couldn't keep he lost jobs, and then seemingly he discovered music, and it's definitely a great success story. So if I was gonna recommend like something to really get you into him, listen to Live at Studio 4. It's pretty much a lot of the same songs from the Live Forever album that I have right here, but you need to see the guy perform. You need to see the keyboards, the drums, him playing guitar, him really get into it. The amazing choruses, like you'll sing along without even knowing the words. And to close it up, just like if you're first getting into him, I recommend once again listening to those first two songs, and you'll on that live show on YouTube. And the first song is Jealousy, is like haunting, like he's just singing, and then you blast right in the Mustang, this big blast of energy. That should be a hook. Personal songs I got into since I got into the album have been Ghostly is probably one of my main ones, and it's probably the lyrics that define me the most in the past year or so. It says, I can't believe it, a fault that I can't hide. Memories well up in my eyes. Most folks would say that I seem fine, but each morning I don't feel worth it. Pull up to my job almost on time. Wish I could disappear more often. Just run home and hide. That's me. Like, I felt that way so many times in the past year. I've had a lot of hard times, and I'm glad that song was there. And another one that's brilliant is Stone Meadows, especially when it breaks into that chorus. I can't say enough about it. It's probably one of my three favorite artists, and I'm just trying to sell you on it, and I hope I did. So that's going to be it for that one.
The salesman now.
That's what I do.
All right, so before I get to my last pick, since we're in the almost the holiday season, and I also talked about Fisher-Price. I do have a present for Brown, since he does love his Jewel. And the Jewel holiday album has got to be amazing. So
I have the Jewel holiday
Oh,
album.
you shouldn't admit that.
Listen,
but there you go, Brown.
I told you, when I like an artist, I'm faithful to them.
Well, you
Not everything's going to hit. But...
You really have that?
No, actually, I have the first one.
There's two?
Yes, there's two.
God.
I didn't know until I literally looked at this.
So now you got both of them.
Thank you, Rob. That's so sweet.
All right. But to get to my main pick of this week, I have to say would be Ice Nine Kills, Welcome to Horrorwood. So I'm very surprised, first of all, that I like this album. It's definitely a little heavier than what I usually go for. But every once in a while, I do get albums I really get really into, and I know when I'm really into an album when I constantly hear the songs like repeating in my head, and I keep thinking about it, and that is what this album has been doing. I love the theatrical aspects of the album. The songs have multiple changes. They're mostly sung parts with some screaming, but overall, I really like it. If you don't know what it's about, Welcome to Horrorwood. It's just about all the songs are based off of a horror movie. So some of my favorites off of it is Hip to Be Scared, which is based on American Psycho. Ex Mortis, which is The Evil Dead. I really like that one. It's got like a horn section and piano in it. The box is Hellraiser. Rainy Days from Resident Evil. And then you've got Fly, which is The Fly. Which is weird because I haven't seen most of those movies.
I have.
But my least favorites would be Worst Vacation, which is based off Hostel. And then definitely dead last for me would be Take Your Pick from My Bloody Valentine. That is just basically a screaming song. It's got like Corpse Grinder from Cannibal Corpse, and definitely not into that. I do really like the breakdown in it though, but overall, no. But so if you have at all liked Ice Nine Kills, any of the songs you've heard from this album or the last album, The Silver Scream, I highly recommend to give this one a shot. There's lots of different parts in all the songs. Again, like I said, it's just a kind of a fun, playful, kind of exciting, chaotic album, and I'm totally been into it.
I need to listen to it more. I think it could be up my alley, and the clean vocals are really good. So like Rob said, if you don't want anything that's just like too heavy, like all the way throughout for no reason, they're a good band.
Yeah.
And the Child's Play chorus, I remember being pretty cool.
Yeah, there is that one too. Just scratch off Take Your Pick, and then everything else has like sing parts in it except that song. But overall, super love that.
All right, close us out, bro.
Peace.